and ready to go with TempestMask1000 running Curse Crackers for whom the bell toils. Any percent, no Cactus, Bonnie mode. That is a mouthful of a gaming category. Anyways, take it away. Take it away.
Hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000, and some of you might have seen me fairly recently. Potentially, you saw me do Doritos Crash Course, which that was a pretty fun run. But today I'm going to be showcasing one of my personal favorite speed games in the indie scene, a almost one-year-old game that will turn that much old at the end of this month, if you can believe it. This is Curse Crackers for Whom the Bell Toils, an indie platformer by the wonderful devs known as Colorgrave. This is their second game, and I'm looking forward to showing you what's going to be the Bonnie category today. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. There will be a couple of differences I will explain that differentiates between playing as the other character, Belle, and this. But like I said, we'll get into things once we cross that bend. For now, time will begin once I select my character. So without further ado, Zoljalix, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, well then, I'm going to delete this save. Huh, that's not supposed to say 100% anymore. Oh well. Right, one thing before I do, I am just going to quickly show these little options on. I have the features Run Toggle and Timer on. Run Toggle is something that actually makes a slight difference for the convenience sake of running the game, but it's something you don't have to technically have on. And the same applies for Timer, but yeah. Let's go ahead and also just change color palettes to the normal one, just because. Alright, time will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so, like I said, this game is a platformer, and the thing about Curse Crackers that makes it super duper cool is that it owes itself really nicely to speed. While Belle is the acrobatic character and height and going across long distances is something that she excels at, Bonnie is a bit more of an up-close, is a bit more of a overall damage, I guess, related character, if you want to put it. She does have some options to go pretty high up, which I will employ during the run, but other than that, she is not as bouncy per se as Belle, so it's with that in mind that I gotta be also a little considerate of what parts of the level I can and cannot do. Ooh, and unfortunately that is our first death as well. A little tragic, but nothing to it. So we're going to try that again. The nice thing about this game is that there are no traditional life systems involved. There is a little nod to Shovel Knight, though, where any coins that you've collected, or in Bonnie's case, magic, will suddenly be put into this pouch which you want to collect before you die again. Otherwise, that's gone for good. Magic actually means a little something for Bonnie because it will... ooh. I thought I was going to be able to make that jump. Whoops. Trying that again. It will actually mean something in the... oh, no. Well, you just saw that completely disappear. Okay, that's going to send me back just a little, but it's not the worst thing. Like I said, though, I actually lost my train of thought, so we're just going to move on. Anyway, so as you can tell, Bonnie is a bit of a reaper. She has a scythe, and she likes to toss it around like a boomerang. It comes right back to her, and that's her basic attack. Unlike Belle, she can't jump on enemies to defeat them as an alternative way of defeating things. Instead, she has this scythe jump ability that's activated when I press the item button. And this is nice because it also grants her a lot of invincibility frames, so she can remain mostly invulnerable during that attack. Of course, when she's out of that attack, that's when she becomes damageable once more. Now, the basic mechanics of Curse Crackers is that your character can run. By default, how it would work is you have to hold one of the trigger buttons if you're playing on the controller to do so, but Run Toggle has it where all I need to do is just press the button once and then they'll automatically be running unless something causes them to suddenly go into walking speed, which can happen with this game. But yeah, it's, like I said, very helpful for your hands to allow your fingers a little bit of non-button pressing time, I guess. I still remember the time when I ran this game and I was constantly holding at least one of the trigger buttons just to do exactly that. But I digress. So, unlike Belle, Bonnie does not have access to items. The scythe is the one thing that will remain constantly in that item slot for this run. Now, she also has a secondary ability with her scythe. That is something we call Riot Mode. The catch is that in order to activate it, I need 150 magic. And when I'm using it, it will also drain per second. So it's a bit like supersonic in that way, and that's why I'm trying to collect as much magic as I can. Because while there won't be all that many situations where I'm going to reliably need it, because I can basically do things fast with my base kit as it is, what I'm actually going to want to save it up for is the final boss. And the reason I'll explain when we get around that corner. For now, though, you're basically seeing the gist of the platforming. We got a generally fast character with some nice little sliding action. Bonnie and Belle have a basic slide, which is what happens when you're moving and then you press down. And this can hurt enemies. But when you press the jump button in the middle of a slide, for Belle, it causes her to do what I call a long jump. And while that is her way of covering horizontal distance the farthest in the shortest amount of time, she can't hurt enemies, and thus she's vulnerable while doing so. Bonnie, on the other hand, is completely able to hurt enemies with her variation of it, but it does not cause her to hop over the ground a little bit, so she's going to generally remain on the ground unless she skips off of the edge of a platform, which you're noticing her then do that little bunny-like hop. Fitting considering she's actually kind of a rabbit girl. It's technically called a Hearthen in this world, so just a little bit of a lore drop right there. And that you're seeing me do the little scythe cuts with those magical energy pots or whatever they're supposed to be. That's the goalpost. And the reason this category is called No Cactus is because any percent involves the use of this cheat code room called the Cactus Room, which you normally unlock once you've beaten the main story for the first time. This run obviously prohibits the use of it, and instead I am able to use these things called skip cannons, which we actually just activated the last one within the entire run. Unfortunately, those only show up within the first 3 worlds out of the 5 that you're going to see overall. Oh, there we go. I was a little stuck there. Now, a nice perk of Bonnie is that she can wall jump, as you've noticed. So I'm also doing this little trick I like to call a scythe leap. No official name has been decided for this yet by the community, but it's when I press the jump button and then activate the scythe jump that causes her to go really high, and it's especially useful for vertical rooms like this one. It just takes a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a bit of a rhythm, a bit of a pattern to figure out. It's not something you're going to easily get right away, but it's not that hard to do once you've figured it out. So now we're in the library world, and like I said, this is where we no longer see the skip cannons, which any eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that all of the skip cannons I've activated were in the second level of the first 3 worlds. You're also going to see a bit of a pattern start to show up with the remaining levels, or at least what we would have seen if I were doing the cannonless category anyway. See, in the 3rd and 5th levels of a world, at least... Oh, dang it, I was so close to completing that level 2. Let's try that again. In the 3rd and 5th levels of a world, you basically fight a boss at the end. Alright, there we go. So while we're making our way to the next levels, Ojolix, any announcements to make?
this point, we do not have any other announcements, but we don't have any donations. We do want to let people know that coming up here real soon, we have the closing for the Electhead Color Palette Choice Bid War. We currently have purple and green and blue and pink are tied at $4. So if you would like to see one or the others, please make sure you guys get your donations in. A donation for as low as $1 at this point can make the swap for either of those two. So if you have a preference, get your donations in. We'd love to see that. We are getting super close to funding our first kid reel of the weekend. So please continue to donate, support the Real Hope Project in any way, shape, or form.
Heck yeah. All right. Remember, folks, we're doing this for the kids. So any donation that you can contribute, no matter how big or small, is absolutely appreciated. So let's keep it on going. I'm gonna give myself some serious time though right now. Alright, that's a bit more like it. Cool. That can be a little bit of precarious platforming, especially when you have a single point of health left, and you might have noticed that Bonnie has no way of healing herself except for the checkpoints that I hit. The same applies for Belle, but at least in her case, she gets an extra potential option in the form of the healing band-aid, which she normally can purchase with coins. Thing is, Bonnie's technically a wanted criminal. She's not allowed to purchase items. So yeah, not gonna happen. That's why all coins have been turned into magic in this particular mode of gameplay. So yeah, I am looking a little bit low in terms of my overall magic count, which could make the final boss a little dicey. I might backtrack in order to fix that a little bit. We shall see. But for now, we are going to enter the third level, and this is where we are going to encounter our first proper boss battle. That is going to be a certain fella that will force us into a game of impromptu Pong. But right now, I'm just going to try and get to that door as quickly as possible, because that was a instant kill death plane, which will knock my character back to the latest checkpoint if that so much as hits me or even nicks me in the wrong way, and yeah, that's never fun. So something you're about to see right there was that you just witnessed me unable to use the invincibility scythe jump, you know, the special little scythe jump, and the reason for that was when Bonnie's scythe is stuck in that little obstacle that requires it to be in there to change the blocks, the scythe has to do an entire travel distance to get all the way back to her. Otherwise, you can't really do much else. By the way, secret, but yeah. Curse Crackers is filled with a lot of collectibles. Colorgrave threw in so many things to pick up that you'd actually be playing the game for a little while to get 100% stuff. And this is actually a really good pattern from Argus, or whatever. Oh wow, that's a perfect pattern. Wow! I don't think I've ever seen him do that. He can choose to throw the ball high or low, or as you just saw, for all 3 times in the middle, and that's basically a freebie right there for me, so that's probably the perfect fight RNG that I could have possibly gotten, and I love to see that. But right now we are in level 4, and this is going to be the one and only time we get to meet Claire, who is a friend of Bonnie and Belle's, and she's a baker. She makes some pretty nifty treats that use these magical fruits, and when fed to Belle's literal Belle partner, the floating sprite-like thingy named Chime, he changes, which allows you to then complete the rest of the level. These things can be pretty situational, but some also do have extended purposes for trying to find collectibles in other levels. Now, with that said, Bonnie obviously does not have the ability to use these recipes, so we're going to utilize an alternative exit that Colorgrave created for these levels for her to use, and you'll see what they are once we find a block with the scythe icon on it, which is right there. Of course, I could just open the chest too, and she'll still collect the ingredient for Claire, no problem. So it's something you can do if you want, and I was just showing it for content, but I think I might have lost time in the process as well. Oh, well. You win some, you lose some. Alright, so now we're going to fight Beakston, which is Bonnie's personal pterodactyl skull-like companion. You're probably wondering, well, if that's the case, why is he fighting her? Well, turns out that Bonnie is a necromancer, and normally you're supposed to be fighting her at this point. But because we're playing as her, it's more of a faker situation, you know. I found you, faker. And that's exactly what's going on here. So this fight is going to require me to hit the fake Bonnie 7 times, but it's not that easy to pull off, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of serious time. Come on, one more time, I think. Yes, there we go. Still losing a little bit of time, but we completed the fight, and that is what counts. And I think I'm looking pretty confident with my magic. Now, one of the nice things about the Bonnie run is that unlike Belle's gameplay, she does not have to collect those things called Ardell Roses, which you're noticing in the user interface. Normally, Belle would have to pick up 30 of those in order to activate that teleporter gate that would take us to the final world, which is the Astral Temple. But in Bonnie's case, Colorgrave made it so that she does not have to do that at all, so we just proceed as planned. And now we're already at the end of the level because I used some nice little tricks just to skip basically the 98% of the entire stage just to get to the key that we needed in order to get us to Tidra's boss chamber. Wow, that was a lucky little pattern right there. The amount of times she spins the hats, or I guess you could say the eye boxes, they kind of look like Chinese food boxes in a way. She chooses how many times she wants to cycle those, and a one cycle is actually something I do not see a lot of not at all. Of course, she can also create those little clones of herself that will fire magic projectiles at you, and those can be annoying. The spike balls, you'll notice that I'm not getting hurt by the gray ones, so I can stand in those and I will not be harmed. And yeah, she's basically shuffling herself, kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic Hats spell card thingamajig, as I like to point out. Alright, so that's her down in 3 hits. But now we're going into the second stage of the Astral Temple, which is actually the one that, in order to progress the story, you just need to complete this one. And that's exactly what we do in the any % run. We just outright skip this stage. We don't even bother with it. Or sorry, we don't bother with Tidra's stage. We do bother with this stage, though, which will feature her Harpy companion named Lear. And to explain that boss fight in advance, she takes 20 hits, which is the most that a normal boss can basically handle within the main story. And yeah, this is obviously not including the final boss, which is meant to have a lot more. But it's because of that in which I want to be considerate of attacking her, because unlike Belle with Chime, Bonnie does not have a very effective way of doing so. And while I would use Riot Mode to take care of her, that would certainly make this fight easier anyway. I really do want to save my magic for the final boss instead, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to give myself serious time here. Whoops, let's try that again. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm going to activate a couple of story events. Oh wait, no, I don't have to in this case. Okay. Alright. So, Jalex, anything you'd like to say at this moment while I go through the rest of this level?
No new donations have come in yet, guys, but I just want to remind you all what we are doing here at Running for Reals. We are raising money for the Real Hope Project, which is an organization that has the mission of helping find a forever family for every single child. And this is definitely not an easy thing because there are a lot of children out there that need to be adopted. And to kind of give you guys an idea of how strong the Real Hope Project's impact is a reel that is created doubles a teen's chance of adoption. And 52% of the kids that the Real Hope Project has made videos for have been matched with forever families. Up to this date, they have created over 320 reels and representing over 350 kids, because some of the videos that they make have more than one kid. And there are over 175 kids have been matched with forever families through the Real Hope Project. So please continue to donate, because when a child ages out of foster care and doesn't have anywhere to call home, 20% of them are instantly homeless, and 70% of young women who age out of the foster care system end up with an unplanned pregnancy by the age of 21. 70% of young men who age out have a criminal record by age 24, and 80% of, and this is the stat that is the most bewildering of all, 80% of the people in America's prison systems are victims of sex trafficking were once in the foster. And so something as simple as a 25-cent donation can help a child find a forever family. You can help be a part of a major change in this world. For something as simple as 25 cents helps to increase the chance of a child to be adopted. So please continue to get your donations in. Or if you don't want to donate, we do have some Running for Reals merch that is available. So check that out. We got some really cool stuff that you guys can buy, where all the proceeds will be going to the Real Hope Project. So continue, guys, to do everything that you can to support. If you can't donate, can't buy any merch, follow the Real Hope Project across social media and share all of their posts. The more eyes that are on kids that are needing to be adopted, the more likely they are to be adopted.
Thank you so much, Judge Alex. And yes, those statistics are alarming, but very much real, folks. If we can do something to help anyone, no matter how many it is, it'll at least make this world just a little bit better. This I know for sure. At least for them anyway. And I know for a fact that we can use our power for good to do good for them. Trust me, I want to do whatever I can to just make lives for children that need a family all the more possible. So with that in mind, we are fighting the final boss. Time will be coming up in just a moment. It'll be on the first frame of the text box that pops up after Liadra is defeated, and that is time. Oh, crud. Well, that's a PB. Let's go. Oh, man. Hang on. My live split is still going on, though. Yeah, I kind of goofed. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to fix that, but, yeah, no, I know for a fact that is definitely a PB, so let's heck and go. I believe it's this key. Come on, live split. Alright. There we go. But yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Pardon the fact that you're hearing the riot mode music in the credits sequence. That's obviously not supposed to happen. But yeah, now we're gonna get the proper credits sequence stuff going on. So the day has been saved. The world has been rescued from a catastrophic, cataclysmic meteor strike, and peace has been brought back to the land and all that good jazz. And with that, that is Curse Cracker's Bonnie mode, any percent no cactus. Thank you all for tuning in, and a special thanks to Speedruns for Real Hope for having me not once but twice. Like I said, you can also catch my Doritos Crash Course run from Friday, and yeah, it was a pretty good time. But yeah, this game is a treat and then some. If you'd like to play it yourself, it's currently exclusive on Steam, but it is very much affordable, and you're getting a lot for your money too. Like, this game also gets updated at a very healthy rate. So shout out to Colorgrave for making this, and if you'd like to learn the speedrun yourself, you can go to the official Colorgrave server where we have topics for the different games and for speedrunning them, if applicable. So big shout out to my fellow runners, people like Pragma Twice, Twirlin Curtis, Druidvorce, Metroid Crime, Ludon, Ioto Core, and all them. And if I didn't mention your name, don't worry, I'm still thinking of y'all all the same. With that in mind, if you'd like to follow me, my Twitter is at @It'sTempestSteve, because I am not a frequent streamer. I try to post whenever I do plan on doing it, though. And I also post other silly stuff as well. My Twitch is TempestMask1000, as well as my YouTube channel, where I try to post content if I feel I got the time for it. But that said, no need to follow, no need to subscribe. If I happen to be going live, just feel free to say hi. Your company is more than enough for me. But with that, let's finish this marathon strong. I believe we can at least reach 500 by the end of it. I want to see if we can make that work, folks. And with that, well, once more, Zojolix, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And with that, until we next meet, ciao, amici.
Thank you, Tempest Max, for that wonderful run. And with that, we're going to toss it over to a quick intermission here, and we will get set up for Heppenwana running a Lek Head alternate end. There is still a bid war available for the color palettes for it, so please get your donations in. We want to see more and more donations coming in for it. So please, 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 guys, continue to donate, continue to support the Real Hope Project.